The Ailey II season starts at the Ailey City Corp Theater at the corner of 55th and 9th Avenue. And one of the choreographers who's going to present their work is
Benoit-Swan Pouffer.
Okay. I had him say that because I would really have messed it up. Okay, and David Freeland.
Yes.
I got that.
That's
okay.
easy.
Yes. Well, if I was French, yours would be easy, I imagine too. But I wanted to talk to you about this since I have both of you here. I saw your work before. You did the work last year, didn't you, at the company? And I saw the work last year, and I enjoyed it. I thought that you gave the dancers a very interesting task. What you asked them to do was to set up a scenario about how they interact, and then you built on that and made it a choreographic work.
That's correct, yeah. Yeah. Well, to me, I was trying to actually bring these things that you don't see generally. When you go see a performance, you see something finished, and you see a product. And I wanted to do a piece, obviously, but bring this sensibility of the interaction between one dancer and the other. What do they do on a daily basis? How do they react? How do they interact? And that's what I was trying to bring out of those dancers.
But I got a sense of that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, oh yes, of course I did. You know, it was like watching someone construct a garment. That was a good way of putting it,
yeah.
I imagine. Because you saw how all the pieces got cut and then fit together, and then how they kind of performed toward the end into some kind of product.
Absolutely. Yeah. We start with David. We hear David talking. I want you as well to bring their own, their kind of what they're going through before a piece, their own story. And we did some interviews, and I thought David had something very, very interesting to say. And I think he had as well. It was a nice way to start the piece, so I chose David.
And this is one thing I want to ask you then, because I thought this is very interesting. Don't worry, we're going to talk in a minute.
No, it's okay.
But I thought this was very interesting because when I saw it last time, you took the time out to do the same thing with that group of dancers, to interview them, to get to know them, to pull out some kind of personal sensibility from them. So this time you repeated the process on this group.
Mm-hmm. Not exactly, because what I chose to say, and it's a general thing, I think what David going through, it's every dancer goes through, more or less. But we all go, like when you start a piece, I mean, when the curtain is down, things are happening behind the curtain. And that's what David is doing, and he can talk about it. But the process of mentally, how to get to where we need to be, and especially their work, because it's a repertory company, so each piece is different, and their state of mind is different. So for me, I was interested to hear David, but it's David, but David, other Davids are going to be after David, and the next David will have as well kind of the same process. So that's why it's okay to have different dancers dancing in this year, because it's a universal. We all go through that.
And did you change any of the movement for them, or?
I tweaked it, but not too much. I tweaked it today.
Now I want to ask you, how was this process for you? Because obviously Swan saw something in you and brought it forward, and then he gave you a chance to bring some of your own personality into the work.
Well, in my last year, I was in the piece as well during the same part, and it was very challenging working with Swan at the beginning because his movement was a lot different than what we had been doing in about the 17 different reps that we do have. So in this work, he challenged us to go deeper than what we normally do. Like, yeah, I'm thinking about, okay, when the curtain is usually down, okay, I'm like, okay, what's the musicality? How do I want to dance this today different than every other day? Because I can do this piece 3 times in 1 week. And for the audience to relate, for it to be genuine and new to me, I have to come up with a different story every time in my head. Although like the steps are the same, my mentality and the attack and the musicality of it can be slightly different.
Do you ever stand in the wings and say, oh my God, what's the first step?
No, I usually tend to not do that, because once you do that, then everybody else does that. It's kind of like, you usually have time before, like, in between most of our pieces, we get about 15 minutes. So you have 10 minutes to let the last piece go, and you have 5 minutes to just hone in on this piece. So you generally get enough time to really think, and you, going into each piece, you have to erase what you just did, because now you have to move on and tell a different story.
Now, on that same note, this is your second year in Ailey II.
Yes, it is.
And being in a serious repertory, because you basically are doing different works all the time, and you're expected to come in, learn a rep, tour it, come back, learn more material, maybe perform it in New York, and then learn more things and go back on the road. How has that built your professionalism?
For me, it really helped a lot with my professionalism. I can pick up pretty easily for myself, you know, so I'm always watching what the choreographer is doing and listening to what they have to say. That way, instead of dancing while they're doing it, I might miss something. If I actually pay attention to what they say, then I can reciprocate that, and also, as an artist, use my artistry to go along with the movement, and then it can just kind of work together. That way, the choreographer understands that you get what they're saying, but also they see what they're asking for in the movement. So it helps as a young professional to always pay attention and focus on what's going on right in front of you, because you can always miss something trying to dance and do and listen, and you know, you have to learn how to focus. And I think a lot of times we get caught up in everything else and trying to get it right away, when it's like, get it, go to the side, work on it, and that way when you come out, it'll look like what you want it to feel like.
Now, the question I have for both of you is, you danced with the Ailey Company at one point, and how do you see the evolution of, did you ever work with Ailey II when you were here?
No.
But how do you see the evolution of Ailey II? Because it's a very different company now than it was even 5 years ago.
Yeah, it is. Well, they travel more, they do international tour. You know, it's funny because I think there is a natural evolution in dance, naturally. And I feel like it's true, like 20 years ago, the Ailey II was not what it is now, but they were not exposed to what they are exposed now. So it's relative. We have to take that in context. So to me, it's interesting to see them now. But again, there is a good and bad. It comes with everything. So now there is so much, like it becomes like, I do feel sometimes that nowadays people have less patience, they're less focused. Not these companies in general I'm talking about. But for the Ailey, now I feel like it's a bigger company. The Ailey II is like, they're really doing it, and I feel it's not like they were not doing it before, but I feel like they're more challenged now. They are touring more. I mean, internationally tour. I think that it's really set them up to succeed in another professional company, because I feel like Ailey II is as well very professional. I don't know how they call it. Maybe it's a pre-professional, but I don't treat them this way.
It almost feels like in some respects it's its own entity.
Absolutely. That's what, and I think maybe it was geared more of preparing those dancers to become professional. But these people that I've been working with, I feel like they are professional, and now they are like just getting the maturity, and maybe the maturity, and to really understand that how a dance company functions.
Now you've done other things, because recently you were involved in a Broadway production, weren't you?
Yeah.
And how do you compare working on that? Because that's a different type of, I was talking to Lar Lubavitch, and he was telling me the difference between working in concert for him and working on Broadway was that usually things at Broadway, they always want a button, they want a button at the end for him, as opposed to where concert, sometimes you can leave things more in the audience's realm of deciding what the ending is.
The demands are different. I will not say, it's true that when you go in concert dance, you have a little bit more freedom to do experimental things or being abstract. And on Broadway, you really have one purpose, is serving the story. It's all about the story. So I really love it as well. So it's a very different beast. I feel like, to me, and I've done both, and to me, you can compare. Like when I did old pieces, other pieces, creating pieces, you sometimes feel you can create an atmosphere, you can create things that sometimes goes, and there is no really story based. It's about either visuals, either sensibility. Well, in Broadway is different. It's more you have to serve a purpose, the story.
And just right now, what do you see yourself doing in the next year?
Hopefully continuing to still dance, whether it be in the first company or anywhere else. I'm kind of excited for the next chapter of my life. Ailey II has been a great experience. I got to work with so many amazing choreographers and dancers that helped me in a lot of ways grow as a dancer, and it was great just sharing with people that are my age. And so now going out back into the world of dancing and being on stage, I just hope that I can perform just as much as I'm doing now.
Well, I want to thank both of you for taking the time out and sharing, really sharing